What's up, everyone? Noble Couple Comic here. I wanted to talk about this contentious current issue when it comes to crowdfunding. It's basically the issue of whether or not Indiegogo be used as a free service, whether or not Indiegogo should be used as like an actual, as what crowdfunding was meant to be, which is like to fund a startup. And there's a lot of different opinions about it. There's basically two ends of the spectrum. One end being Ya Boi Zack, and another at least doesn't public about it like Donald A. And here's basically the current issue on each. So it started with this question, Doug Ernst. Yeah, is it appropriate to use time delivery as a selling point? Creators can take a jab at them. And Ya Boi Zack did this whole video about this, which sparked a bunch of conversation about it. He says, yeah, you should use a selling point being that I get stuff out on time. And I agree. But Ya Boi Zack was kind of saying that it's not that important. And you can watch his whole video. Like you can see here, it's about 40 minutes. Watch the whole thing. And man, I really don't agree with what he's saying. Like, a few kind of key things that he says in the video is like, it's not that important that it's on time. He says people don't talk about, when it comes to this issue of being late or not being late, he says people don't talk about the quality of the book, people don't talk about the art, people don't talk about the writing, people only talk about, oh, this book was late, this book was on time, whatever. And it sounds like he was saying that was detracting from the actual art. But it's like, before the book gets in your hands, that's all you can talk about. Sure, you can see some of the art on the Indiegogo page, and sure, you can get like a one paragraph breakdown of the story, but you don't actually know if it's good or not. The only tangible thing about the book is whether or not it's in your hands. And also, when it comes to like fulfilling the promise of the creator, art and story is subjective. You could say, oh, this story, it's badass, man. It brings back like 90s excitement. Oh, it's great. The art's great. And it's like, maybe it is. Maybe it's not, but you think it is. Maybe a lot of people think it is. That's subjective. What's not subjective is you said it would be here by this time and it's not here. That's not a, well, if you think about it this way, or this really relates to the art of this creator, it's like, no, it's a yes or no. You either lied to me or you did not lie to me. And if you're a creator, trust is a huge thing. He's saying that this kind of takes away from the beauty of crowdfunding, is how the audience is involved in the process. And I get that to a degree. But to me personally, what's more important is getting a book on time. Me personally, I'm not one of those guys who's backed hundreds of projects in Indiegogo. I've backed about 40. And out of the 40, it's 37, but whatever, semantical. 11 of them are late. So almost a third of all of the books that I've backed are late. And usually when they're late, they're not just late by a couple months. They're late by like a couple years. A great example is Shinobi Sasquatch. Now, I bring up this book not to hate on these creators. It was Cal Jameson and Rob Willis. And I'm saying that because Rob Willis might be my favorite artist in comics right now, period. And that's the reason I bought the book, is I saw the art. I remember exactly where I was when I saw this on Indiegogo. I was blown away by the art, backed the book immediately. It was still funding when I bought it. And it has been 2 years, and I still don't have it. That's a bunch of bullshit, man. 2 years have gone. It's 2 years late. Now, like I said, I have created, produced, and shipped out one book, my Cardinal book. I don't know how you get a 2-year delay on a comic book. That's fucked up. I don't know where that comes from. That's crazy. And yeah, look, like I said, I love Rob Willis. I don't know if the story's good or not. I haven't read it. But if they come out with Shinobi Sasquatch 2, If that book is not complete by the time they crowdfund that thing, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna take 5 years to get two books, assuming that they fulfill the book this year, which who knows. But that will rub off on you because that and this whole with creators being late, it just feels apathetic. It feels like they don't care about you. And I thought that was like one of the whole points of moving from the mainstream to indie comics was the mainstream doesn't care about you, the mainstream hates you. We'll listen to you. We're these small time creators. We'll take care of you. It's like, okay, man, then you can't treat me the same way as the mainstream. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. And this is like, dude, I get it. Like, maybe if you're a month or two late, that's not the biggest thing. If you're making sure that the art was great and the story was perfect, I can understand that. But that's not really what he's saying. And again, I'm not just here to hate on Ya Boi Zack. That's not my intention. But he had this pulled up too. This is from his video that he's shown. And Zack was noting that this is, all of his books that he's done. And he was saying the book that I had the most excitement over was wherever it's at. Expendables Go to Hell. He had the most excitement over Expendables Go to Hell, which was 18 months late. He said he had the least excitement on the Is This You, I believe. I think he had it pulled up. Oh, on Mind Your Business. He said he had the least excitement. Okay, I feel like I'm fucking this up. I think I'm gonna go ahead and I said I think it was Is This You. He had the least excitement on it, and that was his earliest book. It was 2 months early, whereas 18 months or 16 months late, Expendables Go to Hell, the most excitement. So he was saying, oh, people don't really care when you get the book, and he almost made it sound like the book being late made it more exciting, and the book being early made it less exciting. It's like, dude, look, I love Ya Boi Zack. Everybody loves Ya Boi Zack. Which is why this kind of stuff is difficult. Because look, if we're honest, we've known this for a long time. That Ya Boi Zack really fell off. And he fell off like with Jawbreaker's God King is when he fell off. And it's difficult to say that because like the dude had the greatest lead in indie comics like of all time. The dude was the king. He could have been multi-millionaire by now if he wanted to, but he doesn't want to. He blew that lead. He stopped doing live streams, stopped really promoting his book. He got off Twitter. He would promote it like at the beginning of every YouTube video, which is fine, but it's not. It's like, dude, you got to have a big rally, like EVS does in his videos, rally the people to buy the books. And that was shown in this previous graph of just, gosh, I have to find these stupid graphs, man. What am I doing? Of just this downward slope of sales. Now, originally he had this excuse. This was a few years ago when the slope kind of became apparent. And he was like, oh, well, there's more people in the market. He really, with that first book, he really like caught lightning in a bottle. It was unrealistic to expect that trend would continue. And I'd say, man, look at Ethan Van Sciver. He doubled his original book. The initial run, anyways. It's like, dude, you honestly just kind of fumbled it, But two, when it comes back to this excitement issue, it's like people's excitement was not related to how early or late the book was. The excitement was because The Expendables is your most exciting property because it's The Expendables, and your least exciting property was the Is This You. And it's like, I get that he has this weird like naming thing he does with like his other universe. Do as you're told, Is This You? It's like, I get it, that's your thing, whatever, don't care, cool. But it's like, it's not exciting. When this was funding, I thought about buying it a few times. The only reason I thought about buying it is because Narwhal did the art, and I love Narwhal. But I don't care about this, like, oh, it's an immortal, and he's, like, experiencing cancel culture. It's like, okay, I, I don't care. I doubt there's going to be some nuance found in this comic book about the issue of cancel culture, which I'm already tired of hearing of. I don't know. Because, like, that's why it was not exciting, is because it's just not exciting. I'm sorry to break it to you. But then, there's, like, the whole other side of this. That was just talking, whole other side of this, which is what Donald DeLay was kind of saying. Or his book, Jaegerbaum, he said will be done before he crowdfunds it. Another person saying that they like the concept of backing a book while it's being made so they can have an impact on it. Ethan Van Sciver did a great job of this, of like, letting the people decide, do you want a foil cover? Do you not want a foil cover? Letting the people decide, do you want this? Do you want that? While the book's being made. And that's awesome to be a part of that. But really, only the biggest guys can pull that off. Because look, like I said, I made a book. My book was 90% done by the time that my campaign started, and was almost completely done by the time the campaign ended. And that was in August when it ended. And I gave myself until January of the next year to pretty much assemble a print file and print my book. And I barely made it on time. I think I shipped my books out like on the 29th of January, like as late as you could get it before it actually is officially late. Like, there's a lot that you gotta learn, and it takes time, and you have to have this stuff done to a very significant degree so that you can actually accurately judge when you can get this into people's hands. If you are telling, like, if you're Ya Boi Zack and you're telling like a first-time creator, like this is the first time that they're making a comic book ever, they know nothing else about it, yeah, get like 5 pages and a cover done, crowdfund it so that you can get the funds to make the book. It's like, you are fucked if that's your plan. You're cooked. You're done. Because your book is going to be late, and it's probably going to be very late. And congratulations, you just lost so many customers because you tried to do it, you tried to fund the book before you knew what you were doing. Because, yeah, if you're a first-time creator or just like new to this in general, and you think that, oh yeah, I'll just fund a book and I'll get an artist and we'll make it, well, real quick, we'll make the book. Like, my artist was a great artist. I love the guy. I brought him back for book 2. We're making it right now. He's fantastic. But it took him like 4-5 months more than I thought it would take him to finish the book. And if I had decided to crowdfund at the beginning of this process, I'd be done. You can't do that. You have to get, like this guy says, at least 80% done. Like, at least 80% done before you try and crowdfund, especially if you're a small creator. Because building that trust is so important. Because, like, Ethan Van Sciver, so far, all his books have been late. And it's like, okay, but it's Ethan Van Sciver. He does live streams all the time. He's showing progress all the time. You know that he is going to be held accountable. Smaller guys, you don't really know that. Maybe they just disappear. Who knows? But guys like Narwhal always are on time. His turnaround rate is always very fast, and it's always good quality. It's like that dude is doing one of the best jobs out of anybody. And that is part of why I keep going back. Not just because the stories are great and the art's great, but it's always quick. I don't want to buy a book and then wait a year before I get it. Maybe some people like that. I don't like that. I think it should be done, or almost done, by the time that you even start your campaign. Because if you don't, you're looking for trouble. And that doesn't just affect you and your campaign. That just gives ammunition to all the people who hate Comicsgate that can say, look at all these creators who are late. Look at all these people who are getting ripped off. Look at all these grifters. Even if they had good intentions, you look like a grifter. Don't do that to yourself, and don't do that to the whole Comicsgate movement. It's just, late isn't great. That is absolutely true. I think it's way more important than Ya Boi Zack is giving credit to in this video. And it's like he's saying, "Oh yeah, for me it's not a big deal." Yeah, maybe it's not a big deal for you because one, you don't interact with the fans as much. That's just the truth. He does not interact with the fans as much as like someone like EVS does. And two, you're Ya Boi Zack. You could make anything, and you've got 1,000 people who will buy it. It could be 2 years late, and they'd still come back and buy book two. You have a set group of fans. You don't got to worry about the same stuff that first-time creators and small creators do. Right now, I've got 2 books that are in the works, and I work quite a bit, and I'm also going to school. I work as much as I can to be able to afford to produce these books. And these books, the next book that I got coming out this year will be 100% complete by the time the campaign launches. The next book coming out next year, which will be Cardinal 2, is probably not going to be 100% complete, but it's probably going to be 90% complete by the time I fund the campaign. Because if you're a new creator, unknown creator, that is just as important, if not more important, than the art and the story. Is can we trust you with our money? Because if the answer is no, you will not make it. Period. Doesn't matter how great you are. I think look at the same thing like I said with Shinobi Sasquatch. If that if they do a book 2, I am curious to see how that performs because they'd have to do a ton to try and change public perception of that. And I'd be curious to see how they plan to do that. But I think I touched on everything I wanted to. Just the whole crowdfunding late thing. I was really confused by Ya Boi Zack's take on it. Especially because it's like, dude, come on. You know you're in trouble. You know that you're doing something wrong. I mean, just look at your graph that you've got pulled up. Well, other guys like EVS are doing something right, you know. But that's what I had to say, man. If you're a new creator, please have your book done or almost done by the time you do your campaign, or you are in trouble. Uh, that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.